Finale at home has been a big issue for the Twins since the All-Star break. Today they hope to end an 11-game losing streak. And we welcome you to Target Field. The weather holding off pretty nicely. Dick Bramer along with Hall of Famer Bert Blyleven. We've focused an awful lot on the position players in the Twins lineup and how so many call-ups have gotten regular playing time from AAA and AA, but the same is true from the pitching staff. Only one member of the original rotation is still there, Carl Pavano.
With Carl Pavano still in the lineup, as far as the everyday starter, it's audition time for a lot of guys that want to pitch at the major league level in their future. And Anthony Swarzak on the mound, you can see no wins, 0-11 for those four individuals right there. Anthony Swarzak coming off a short start, as short a start as a starter, but 2 starts ago, this is the way that Anthony Swarzak wants to go about his business right here. Against the Detroit Tigers, 6 very good innings. Stay away from the multi-run innings. That's been a bad thing for Swarzak this year. Looking for his first win here in 5 starts. He's 0-6 overall here at Target Field. That's not good.
Now back to the position players. So many of the rookies just have a handful of at-bats. Unfair to make any assessment of them. But the one guy who stepped up and played regularly and done a very good job is Ben Revere.
Yeah, last night's ballgame in the 9th inning off the bat of Saunders. Revere making a great catch, but it's nothing new. We have seen this guy cover a lot of ground throughout the summer here at Target Field and also on the road. So Ben Revere, good defense. He's also getting on base, making a lot of exciting things happen.
So some hope for the future for the Twins and for Ben Revere. He's made quite an impression in his rookie season. And today the Twins hope to end their longest losing streak in many, many years. We'll come back to Target Field for the series finale in a moment. Local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. By Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And by Window Concepts of Minnesota.
It is a little cool, but overall pretty comfortable here at Target Field as the Twins close out their series against the Mariners. Hi again, everyone. I'm Marnie Gellner. This very ballpark will be hosting a special event on Sunday evening, but not a baseball game. It will be a fundraising walk. It's called Light the Night, and it benefits the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Honorary captains of the walk on Sunday are Jason Kubel and Brian Dunsing, because both have connections in their family to blood cancers. So their wives, Blake Kubel and Lisa Densing, will be walking on Team Fox Sports North. I'll be part of that team as well, and you can join us or you can donate money at foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the supports tab. It's under the column entitled More. If you raise $25, you have a chance to win an autographed baseball from Brian Densing or Jason Kubel. So we hope you'll join us on Sunday night in either joining our team or with your donation. And we will bring you the Twins finale against the Seattle Mariners, a big game this afternoon. Even the horses are ready for this one. First pitch is up next.
I mean, it can't be
It
can't be that hard to win a ball game.
Sometimes it is. I think the Twins have shown that.
We won 94 games last year.
That was last year, Dick. This is this year. Let's get a win here today, though, and get that monkey off their back.
See if this Menards batting order can get that done. Anthony Swarzak will try to shut down this Mariner lineup. Ichiro Suzuki, Luis Rodriguez, Dustin Ackley, Mike Karp, Justin Smoke, Kyle Seager, Trayvon Robinson, Chris Jimenez, and Michael Saunders.
And my scouting report on Anthony Swarzak making his 10th start, his 26th appearance, and he's making his first career start against Seattle. He's 0-1 this year. He took a loss earlier this year, an extra inning loss to the Seattle Mariners when he was out of the bullpen. This is his 22nd Major League start. He's 5-12 as a starter with an ERA at 5.63. So Anthony Swarzak, one of those guys that the Twins are looking at to be a possible starter, but he's got to pick it up a little bit, coming off a very short start in his last start against the Indians.
Northwood Ford defense for the Twins. Joe Benson, Ben Revere, Michael Kadire, Valencia, Plouffe, Dinkelman, Harmony in the infield. Drew Butera doing the catching. What makes his losing streak so upsetting, and I'm sure for the fans too, it started against the Tigers, but it has continued on against Kansas City, Cleveland, and Seattle. Those teams are not above 500. In the case of Seattle, Mariners record just marginally better than the Twins. So Ichiro stands in the box. Luis Rodriguez and Dustin Ackley will follow.
Swarzak with a good sinking fastball, curveball, slider, and a changeup. Misses with a fastball inside to Ichiro. You mentioned it the other night. Ichiro, I believe, 177 hits, 178. Will not get 200 for the first time in his U.S. career. This is his 11th season with the Seattle Mariners.
2-0 to Ichiro. Bouncer right side, and there's a hit. Got a couple last night in the Mariner come from behind win, and a leadoff single here this afternoon. And that'll bring up Luis Rodriguez. It's the same Luis Rodriguez who used to play for the Twins a few years ago.
Yeah, Ichiro right there, ball down and away, finds that hole, the Dinkelman hole right there in the right field. Yeah, Rodriguez, he was with the Twins back from 2005 and 2007, originally signed by the Twins back in 1997 out of Venezuela.
He was a backup infielder with the Twins, and it's a case of poor timing, because if he was fulfilling that role this year for the Twins, he'd be a regular player the way things have gone here in Minnesota.
He played in 206 games for the Twins in those 3 seasons, and he hit .243. Not much power, 6 home runs. A good utility type player, getting an opportunity to play short here this afternoon.
Up a little bit, 1-1.
After playing with the Twins, then he went to the San Diego Padres for a couple years. Swarzak, 26 years old, his second season with the Twins. Came up as a starter with the Twins back in 2009. That did not fare very well.
2-1.
One thing about Swarzak, he's kind of a swing guy, a guy that I think, maybe next year he did a good job out of that bullpen, now getting a chance to start, but a guy that could be that number 6 starter out of the bullpen, a guy that can pitch some extra innings when need be throughout the season.
There are guys like that, aren't there, who are better in that role, and in Swarzak, I think it's fair to say he's kind of struggled since he's been given a regular turn in the rotation.
Yeah, I think, as a lot of the young guys, you're trying to impress. The first time around in 2009, he got 12 starts. He was 3-7 with a 6.25 ERA, and this year almost about the same.
Ichiro takes off, and the pitch tapped foul. You never know what you're going to get from those guys. Philip Humber for the White Sox was that guy for Chicago, and they gave him a regular spot in the rotation, and he almost single-handedly kept the White Sox in the race in the first half.
Yeah, a lot of it, Dick, is just control of the fastball. Right now Swarzak with the speedy Ichiro at first base, try to get that. See, I don't see a pitch down and away yet. You're going to get a pitch. You're going to get a ground ball down and away.
One driven to center, and Revere's there for the catch, 1 away.
Especially early in the ball game. Drew Butera is going to go out and talk to Swarzak right here. You have to establish both sides of the plate, but especially down and away to a left-hander and a right-handed hitter.
I kind of looked at the pitch that Ichiro lined for a single was down and away, but he just was in an aggressive count, was able to hit it hard to right field.
But that's Ichiro. I mean, he's a good hitter.
Right.
He's a .330 career hitter.
Here's Dustin Ackley. Outside, ball 1.
You'll see that breaking ball right there. That just kind of floated in there. You want to really attack that strike zone early on.
And that called a strike. Fans who watch baseball at all realize that you can't win a ball game in the first 2 innings, but if you're a starting pitcher, you sure can't lose one in the first 2 innings.
Yes, you can. You have to establish something early on, and in his last start, we saw I didn't see anything out of Swarzak, what he was trying to accomplish in his short start against the Indians. Everything was up. He got peppered pretty good in the inning and 2/3.
And he ended up losing that ball game in an inning and 2/3. 2-1.
Ichiro at first base, 40 stolen bases in 47 attempts. So you have to keep an eye on him. And over his career, he's right up there with the active stolen base leaders.
Foul back, 2-2. Within his experience as a starter is the hope that the rotation will be healthy next year. Popped up and back into the seats, and that Swarzak might fit into a redone bullpen next year. If not as a starter, the Twins are hoping that he'll be a contributor next year, perhaps out of the bullpen.
Yeah, again, I think he's proven that, Dick, that as a reliever, he's done a pretty good job. But as a starter, he has struggled. But these outings, very important to find that good groove.
And a pitch up, fouled straight back.
And see, by the Fox track, every pitch is belt high and up. Right there, look at, 4, 5, 6, but they're still up in the strike zone. Haven't seen anything that two-seamer down yet. Now Butera sitting down and away. Get it down there.
There, he gets a swing and a miss, 2 down.
But the ball's still up. Swarzak gets a little two-seamer out over the plate and actually swinging through it to get his first strikeout.
Movement, a tailing fastball. Here's Mike Carp, had a 5-hit game 2 nights ago. Added another hit last night. Breaking pitch in the dirt, ball 1.
For Swarzak, this is his 8th season in the Twins organization, signed by the Twins in 2004.
Hit a long way, but very foul, and it's 1-1. Fans bundled up on a cool late September afternoon. First woman got a bruise, and the second woman got the baseball. 1-1. And that slapped through the hole to left. Ichiro will hold up at second base. First and second, 2 away.
Carp having a very good series. Career high 5-hit night a couple nights ago. A base hit last night. And his first at bat here this afternoon. A base hit. But again, a pitch up in the strike zone. And Carp just taking the pitch the other way. Take a look at location right there. Thigh high.
Center cut. Here's Justin Smoak.
You wanted a butcher for those, don't you?
Smoak lifted for a pinch runner, still bothered a little bit with a groin pull. Throughout this 11-game losing streak, there have been so many ways where the winning team has outplayed the losing team, but never a better example than last night of how the Twins have failed miserably with 2-out hitting, and the team they have lost to did a much better job. All 5 runs last night that the Mariners scored were produced with 2-out hits. Slowey, who didn't give up a hit through 5 innings, got victimized in innings 6 and 7. 1-1. 2-out single by Carp has gotten Smoak to the plate with 2 men aboard.
The Mariners hope that this young man, Justin Smoak, turn out to be the hitters that the Rangers thought he would be when they drafted him #1 back in 2008. Switch hitter with some power from both sides of the plate.
There's the pitch you wanted right there. Pitch number 3, right?
Yeah, and it took him 21 pitches to find that spot.
Well, you had innings too, whether it was the first inning or the sixth inning, where you're out there and you realize you don't have real good command. You're just trying to fight your way through it.
Especially the first couple innings, you want to find out what's working. So that's where I say the game plan has to come into play. You know, that pitch right there, even though he missed it, he missed down in the strike zone. You want something to happen, even though it's the first inning right here. You don't want Ichiro and Carp to be taken off on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. Make something happen on a 2-2 pitch with 2 outs.
2 on, 2 out. 2-2 the count. Behind second base, chased by Dinkelman, and it'll be in between Dinkelman and Plouffe, and then Revere, I think, need Plouffe in the head. Just a little pop fly, and Plouffe actually, I think, was the closest Twin to it. And it's an RBI Blue Pit, 1-0.
Smoke kind of jammed himself right there. Plouffe was the only one that might have been able to get to this ball. He got there, but just out of reach. See Ben Revere kind of holding up a little bit, and then by the time he gets there, Plouffe just unable to get it, and Ben Revere ends up kneeing him in the head. Just out of reach right there. Revere trying to get out of the way. So everybody's all right.
3 singles, and so far a first inning run for Seattle. Kyle Seager, the batter. And already pitch number 24 for Swarzak. Bounce to second. Dinkelman ends the inning. 3 singles, a run for the Mariners in the first. Temperatures and any rain that might be coming. Menard's batting order for the Twins: Ben Revere, Brian Dinkelman, Michael Kadire, Chris Parmelee, Danny Valencia, Trevor Plouffe, Rene Tassoni, Joe Benson, and Drew Butera.
And Blake Bevan on the mound for the Seattle Mariners, making just his 14th Major League start. He came over from the Texas Ranger organization in the Cliff Lee trade last year in July. And so far, so good. 10 of his 13 starts have been quality starts for this young right-hander, just 22 years old, out of Irving, Texas.
And Ben Revere will lead things off back in the center field, where he has played the bulk of the time this year. Denard Span started out there last night. And a fastball, strike one.
Scouting report on Bevan is that he's not overpowering fastball, 88 to 92, a 4-seamer and a 2-seam fastball, hard slider, curveball, and then he'll mix in a changeup.
One hopper to third. Seager has it. And Revere retired, 1 down. That'll bring up Brian Dinkelman. Northland Ford defense for the Mariners. Trayvon Robinson at left. Michael Saunders in center. Ishiro getting right field. Seager and Rodriguez left side of the infield. Ackley and Karp on the right side. Chris Jimenez doing the catching. Here is Dinkelman. 20 singles and 53 at bats. Inside, ball 1. And we've seen the beginnings of the shift. Look where the second baseman is, and where he was playing, scratching in the dirt for Revere. He's over a few steps. 1-1. That's not David Ortiz, Jim Thome like, but opposing teams have the spray charts of where the hits have gone for Dinkelman. They're trying to close up the hole a little bit. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Well, that's one thing, Dick, in baseball. You get scouting reports, just like that. Advanced, scouts talk to each other, and they say all of a sudden, hey, this guy's, every ball he's hit has been between, first and second. How about shifting that second baseman a little bit more toward that first base line?
It's not much of an exaggeration. 20 hits, and what we show last night, 14 of them have gone to right field. 2-2. And a high fastball gets him 2 down.
Bevan really hasn't been a strikeout pitcher. That's 35 strikeouts now in 86 innings pitched.
Twins baseball brought to you in Sony High Definition. Michael Cuddyer back in right field.
One thing Bevan did, that's his last start, 8 shutout innings against the Texas Rangers. That's a pretty good job right there.
In Texas?
Yep.
Or was that at home?
That was at home in Seattle.
Yeah.
Ended up winning that ball game, his 5th of the year.
Down and away, ball 1. Cuddyer with an outside chance of hitting 300. He'd have to go some in the final week of the season. 1 home run for number 20 on the season. One and one. Got a breaking pitch up and fouled it back. Twins head to Cleveland after this game. We'll play 4 games in 3 days there, and then we'll come home for the end of the season against Kansas City. And of course, there'll be all sorts of intrigue starting with that series, and then the offseason as to what Michael's future is. A strikeout here, and a very good first inning for Blake Bevan. to you by Pentair. A cloudy day here at Target Field. Twins hoping to hit the road with a win. It's incredible the way this season, the second half has gone for the Twins, particularly at home. They have lost, and this is the most amazing statistic that I've seen regarding the Twins in quite some time. They have lost 23 of their last 27 at home.
Yeah, that's where you want to win. Twins historically have always played better at home than than a lot of teams, and it just hasn't worked out this year.
The best home field advantage, if you will, in the American League last year, and to lose 23 out of 27 any place. It's a fly to left, playable for Benson. One down, and let's go to our friend Marty Gellner.
Dick and Bert, the Sanford Health injury report on the Twins is pretty much status quo again, and that includes Jason Kubel, who's still dealing with a pretty painful foot injury. This morning I asked Ron Gardenhire about Kubel's status.
I talked with him this morning. I said, is there any reason you should go on this road trip? And he says he wants to be with the guys. And I says, well, then you have to tell me that if there's a situation, emergency, I can put you in there. And he said, I'll do whatever you need me to do. He says his foot's not good, but so he said he wants to go on a road trip. He wants to travel with the guys. He's going to be there on the bench. And if there's an emergency and I need him, he'll do the best he can.
I actually saw Jason this morning and asked him how he was, and his response was okay. He said, I'd be better in a month if I had a month. But Dick and Bert, the best way to sum it up, pretty much for everyone around here, frustrating.
Thank you, Marty. You're absolutely right. And within that, it's sure nice to see the likes of Kubel, who probably isn't going to play in Cleveland, but just simply wants to be with his teammates.
Well, Jason Kubel, a free agent at the end of the year, too, like Michael Kadire. And, you want to leave it in a positive. And believe me, he wants to play, but how can you? How can you if your foot is feeling the way that it is for Jason Kubel? But, he wants to be part of the ball club, and that's a great thing.
Here's Michael Saunders, and he takes strike one. 4 singles in the first 8 at-bats against Anthony Swarzak. There's a ground ball, and another one that has eyes. And a base hit for Saunders, and alertly scampering to third is Jimenez.
Good base running right there by Jimenez. That ball looked like it was going to go into the hole, and Jimenez just kept running. Well, Parmalee just under his glove. Dinkelman throwing it over to Swarzak. The ball hits off the glove of Swarzak and into the runner Saunders. Saunders will be credited with an infield base hit.
So 5 singles, and really only 1 hit with authority. That was Ishiro's line drive single in the first inning. First and third, 1 down. Tough guy to double up. And this one popped up near the Seattle dugout. And out of play. So in addition to everything else, now the Twins starting pitcher pitching a little bit of tough luck here in the first couple innings. 3 hopper into center field for a 1-out single. Saunders with a bleeder cut off by Dinkelman in the hole. One strike to Ishiro. Just off the inside edge.
Ishiro very quick down that line, but he has it into 10 double plays this year.
Saunders being watched by Swarzak. Parmalee has to reach over to make the catch. Counting today, Twins have 8 games left, and they need to win 4 of them to avoid 100 losses this year. That's to right field, and hanging in the air, Cuddyer with a catch, and he just flips it to second, knowing he has no chance to get Jimenez tagging. It's 2-0.
A sacrifice fly for Suzuki. He picks up his 46th RBI. And the Mariners take a 2-0 lead. So the good base running by Jimenez right there gets a run in for the Mariners.
And now Luis Rodriguez actually hit the ball hard. Line drive caught by Revere. The Twins have only lost 100 games in one season. That was 1982. And the Twins at that time threw a bunch of young rookies out on the field. Granted, their names were Hrbek, Gaetti, Bernansky. Some of the veterans were traded, like Smalley and Weiniger.
5 years later, all those names you mentioned right there, a big part of the first World Series team here in Minnesota.
In April of that year, the Twins won just 3 games, and then things got a little better in the second half, but still 102 losses. But to contrast that to what the Twins have had happen this year, that was plan A all along. Great jump at first by Saunders, and he'll steal without a throw. No chance for Butera, and a stolen base sending Saunders to second base.
Yeah, he read Swarzak perfect right there. Only the 4th stolen base attempt against Swarzak, the second successful one. And Saunders steals his 6th base of the year in 8 attempts.
2 strikes now to the hitter. The youth movement was plan A for the Twins pretty much all year long in 1982. This year, Parmelee, Benson, and the others are here, and I think we're up to plan X right now. Popped up.
Running out of numbers in the alphabet.
Well, back over the Mariner dugout again. So really, I don't think it's fair to compare what happened in '82 to what's happened this year. The unfortunate thing is there's going to be some question marks surrounding this team that weren't in place before the 1983 season. The Twins knew where Hrbek, Bernansky, and Gaetti and all those guys were going to be. And we've got the free agency issues, the health issues that are going to linger through the offseason.
Well, one thing that Billy Smith and Jim Rance, what they have seen is what they need to do in their minor league system to improve it. There's strike 3 by Swarzak. And he gets out of the second inning, only 1 run allowed, but the Mariners have a 2-0 lead.
Some very bright spots here in September, and the guy coming up, Chris Parmelee, is one of them. You know, guys, when a guy comes up in September, you really think, what are we going to get from a guy? Well, He's been a first-round pick and made the jump, as you guys have talked about, from Double-A. Impressive, as we've all talked about him using the whole field. To me, seems like a guy that really understands his craft as a hitter. He doesn't overswing. He understands what the defense and what the pitcher is doing to him. He's sprayed the ball around the field, and he's hit a couple bombs here so far this season. Chris Parmalee is going to make it really tough, Dick and Bert, for Gardy come April to not play him, especially if a Justin Morneau is going to possibly look like he could be your DH next season.
Yeah, Ron, one thing I've seen from Parmalee, he seems like a guy that the game is not too quick. I mean, Joe Benson, on the other hand, I think, he's trying to impress everybody. Parmalee's just going about his business, It's just kind of like, hey, it's no different than Double-A. I'm still going to get a pitch to hit and hopefully hit it hard somewhere.
He has. And the one thing that I'm impressed with, too, is you don't see him overswinging all that much. I mean, there's been a couple times where he's taken a big rip, but even his approach is right there on that take. The ball is away. He looks like it's hit, and then the pitch comes, he recognizes it, and it's a ball.
He reminds me a lot of Wally Joyner when Joyner first came up with the Angels.
Pop up center field. Saunders comes in. And Parmalee retired, one away.
The finish on Parmalee popped out. But the other thing that's impressive is the way he handles himself around the first base bag. He's got very soft hands. He has great footwork around the bag. And so to me, the one thing, as we all know here in Minnesota, pitching and defense have been our staple for a long time around here. He's one of those guys that can save some infielders a lot of errors on balls in the dirt. Another
reason he reminds me of Wally Joyner. He was a good, left-handed hitter with power, but also a very good defensive first baseman.
Danny Valencia will hit. And just to put a bow on what you guys were talking about, Ron Gardenhire talking about Parmalee's defense yesterday, said it's improved markedly from where he was. Tom Kelly said as much when he filled in for Bert during the telecast in Kansas City, to the point where Gardy said yesterday his manager in Double-A, Jeff Smith, nominated him for Defensive Player of the Year in the Eastern League. So there are some things that he needs to work on, and the Twins have already done that. We've seen him make a couple of errors on ground balls when he's tried to rush getting the ball. So they've said, well, let's just play in a little bit. So you're getting to the ground ball quicker and you don't feel as rushed to make a play. So they've done that. And it seems in that case to be a pretty easy fix. And then again, you just hope that all these guys relax more as they get more playing time.
And that's all, that's a great point, Dick. I know when Ron Coomer came up, when I came up, the game was fast. You wanted to impress everybody. You wanted to impress yourself. And finally, you find somewhere, whether it's for a pitcher, innings pitch, for a hitter, I'm sure, Ron, at bats, finally it just says, you know what, I know I belong here. Now it's just relax a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. That's with all the young players, everybody that put on a big league uniform. As you get more and more at bats, you get more and more comfortable. But one thing also to me that stands out with the three guys in Dinkelman, Benson, and Parmalee, to me they're baseball players. They're not just athletes, but they know how to play the game, and they have showed themselves pretty well.
Valencia called out on strikes. 5 up, 5 down. That'll bring up Trevor Plouffe.
Yeah, Blake Bevan getting his third strikeout in the 5 batters he's faced.
Twins' final series of the year starts Monday night against Kansas City. Monday's also a Schweigert $1 a dog Monday. The first 20,000 Schweigert hot dogs will be sold for $1 apiece. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com to check on ticket availability. Now, the Twins aren't asking me to do this, but I'm going to volunteer this anyway. Plouffe in the box. If you want to come to one more game, if you want to, and you're unsure as to which game to go to, might I suggest you come to Wednesday's game, because the Twins are paying a tribute to a longtime radio announcer, John Gordon, on Wednesday. And it'd be nice if we had as full a house as possible for that, because John's meant so much to this organization. And his send-off, a little pregame thing, Bert, you and I are both going to be involved, and that's going to be before the game on Wednesday. So if you've enjoyed listening to John over the years, this would be the perfect opportunity for you to be part of his send-off.
Touch them all. Touch them all, John Gordon.
Couple of strikeouts for Bevan in the second inning. There's John Gordon all bundled up. Can't wait to get to Florida.
MinnesotaMinnesota.com to plan your next Minnesota vacation today. It's been a while, but I've been on Leech Lake near Walker in northwestern Minnesota. Third largest lake in Minnesota. Great walleye, largemouth, smallmouth bass, and muskie fishing. Over 111,000 acres, Leech Lake. Dustin Ackley leading off the third inning. That's got to feel pretty nice around the fire there. It sounded like a broken bat, and another seeing eye single. But Swarzak's had some tough luck here in the opening innings. He's given up 6 singles, and really only one was hit well, and that was the first single.
Yeah, it looked like Ackley got jammed right here, but able to get the barrel of the bat out. We heard the crack of the bat. Dinkelman going to his left. That's an infield base hit.
And you can ask us a question, but you better hurry. The season's almost over. Carsoup.com/baseball. Arnold Babar from Edina. Babar, the which twin starter that began the season in the rotation has the best chance to do so in 2012. Okay, the question, which twin starter that did not begin the season in the rotation? So in other words, of these new guys that we have shown you this year, which one do you think, Bert Blyleven, has the best chance of being in the rotation?
Well, that's a good question. You know, they haven't had a lot of success. None of these starters have had a win in September. Twins have only had 2, and that coming off of, from Carl Pavano.
There's a ground ball. See if they can get 2. 1. Safe at first. A slowly hit ground ball. 3, maybe 4 bounces to Dinkelman, and they only got the lead runner.
And that's the most important thing right there. Get that lead runner, and that's what Dinkelman was able to do. Didn't try to hurry his throw. Plouffe made sure he tagged the bag, got it over to Parmalee as quick as possible, but the force out of the lead runner at second base.
Here's Justin Smoke, drove in a run with a little pop fly single to center. Landed just out of the reach of Trevor Plouffe. Outside, ball 1.
I mean, have you seen anything from the starters that we're talking about? Hendricks or Slowey or Diamond or Swarzak to say, hey, these guys are going to be in that rotation for sure next year.
It's a drive to right center field. Kadir will hope for a friendly bounce. Short hops the wall. That will allow Karp to go to third. Now they're going to wave him around. Plouffe with a quick throw to the plate. And Karp's out by plenty. Good relay and a quick release. Both by the right fielder and the shortstop.
That's what you like to see. Good fundamental baseball right there. Kadir knew he couldn't get to this ball, so he had to play the carom, and his job is to get it to that cutoff man. Justin Smoke giving it a ride right there. Kadir spins, gets it to the cutoff man, that being Trevor Plouffe.
Jeff Datz waving him in, and it wasn't close. So 2 down, runner at second, and here's Seager. That ball, that hit, very well hit, and there's strike 1. One and one.
I asked you that question before Smoke hit that ball. Do you see anything that you would say that, going into spring training, Rick Anderson will say, hey, this guy has got a chance to be in that starting rotation?
Of the candidates we've seen, I guess I would probably say this guy. He nearly no-hit the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim when the games were still relevant for the Twins. Swing and a miss. Slowey has had some decent outings, and he's got a bit of a track record, but as we've said before,
one of the reasons the Twins started the season with him in the bullpen. Of the candidates that started the season, of the starters, the Bakers, the Blackburns, guys like that, Slowey had the highest ERA. He had proven over the last couple of years to be physically the less durable pitcher of the bunch, which is one of the reasons they started him in the bullpen to begin with.
Well, it's kind of between Scott Baker and Slowey at the end of spring training, and it was Slowey that they decided that, you know, he might be able to rebound and be better suited for the bullpen than Scott Baker.
Right.
Because Baker coming off that elbow surgery.
2-2.
But that did not work out.
There's, I think, significant concern about the status of Nick Blackburn, who still has this impinged nerve, and it has not gotten any better since he was shut down over a month ago.
Yeah, a lot of questions to be answered for Rick Anderson, and you know, next year going into spring training, it's going to be an audition unless the Twins make some moves. But you know, I look at Swarzak, I look at these guys; they're number 4 or 5 starters. Twins need a number 1 and 2. They need the horses, and only Carl Pavano's going to pitch 200+ innings.
The nice graphic that we used during the pregame show about how the Twins are going to have just 3 batters with enough plate appearances to qualify for the batting championship. They're only going to have 1 pitcher with enough innings, perhaps Brian Dunsing if he pitches 6 more innings. But you have to pitch 162 innings to qualify for the ERA title, and Pavano's the only one who will do that.
Right.
All right, well, where do you get a number 1 starter? You go to Macy's? Where do you go?
I'd go probably Nordstrom's.
2-2. There aren't that many out there. There's no one in this league that can be comparable right now to Justin Verlander. There's a fly ball to center, left center. Benson and Revere both converge, and Benson makes the catch. Leadoff single, follow-up double, but no damage done. It's still 2-0. Space and the player's name to short code 234234. Ryan Dinkelman, if Twins fans figure he's good for a couple of hits today, maybe Anthony Swarzak can settle down and shut down the Mariners rest of the way. Twins hoping to end an 11-game losing streak. And the Arith family wanted me to pass along their very best wishes to a great Twins fan, Uncle Bob Nelson in Pine River. And I just mentioned his name, and the Twins get their first hit. Tassone, with the ball bobbled, will scamper to second base. So there you go. Uncle Bob Nelson in Pine River watching today, and the Arith family wants to pass along their best wishes. I want to pass along my best wishes in the hopes that the Twins will break this losing streak for Uncle Bob.
There's some fans of Uncle Bob right here. And Uncle Bob, you are hereby circled and lined or whatever Mike Kelly did right there.
Oh, Pine River's a beautiful part of the state. Single and error charge to Trayvon Robinson, and Tassone stands at second base with nobody out. Here's Joe Benson. Squaring to bunt and pulling the bat back and taking ball one. All right, you played 22 years in the big leagues. And I ask you about position players, and I ask you how many plate appearances, at bats, you would think would be a fair number to judge a player's potential.
Wow. I'd say probably around 400, somewhere in there.
Because I read in the paper today that on the basis of 46 or 48 at bats, that judgments have already been made on the likes of Joe Benson and Chris Parmelee.
Yeah, but you have to consider the source of what. Well,
he's
read.
A former beat writer.
Yeah.
A Twins beat writer. Benson has shown all the physical skills in the world, and probably he's the one guy I think of that needs to relax out there. We've seen it even out in the field. His throws have been off target. A decision made, an aggressive mistake in right field last night that cost the Twins a run. And with the relaxation and with the game slowing down a little bit for him, there's an awful lot of talent there, I think.
There is a lot of talent.
And there's a base hit to left. Tassone had to hold up, and he'll advance to third base.
You know, and 400 at bats to someone that is hopefully a regular is about 3/4 of the season. So, you know, you get him if you're starting from April 1st through the All-Star break and see how he reacts after the All-Star break, and then you make a pretty good judgment. And right there, Benson, good at bat, you know, with Rodriguez kind of keeping Tassone close to second base, opened up that little bit of hole, and Benson able to find a hole in the left field.
Well, I like your number because I was thinking of Ben Revere. I think 415 at bats. Now we have an idea what type of player Ben Revere can be if he continues to improve. We have an idea. He's not going to have much power. He's going to be a singles hitter who can steal some bases, cover a lot of ground in the outfield. But beyond that, Tom Kelly has always maintained you need to see a player for 3 years. He had a couple of rookies of the year that he managed, Chuck Knobloch and Marty Cordova. And Tom always felt you need to see a guy for 3 years, and then you know what type of player you've got.
Yeah. I mean, players go through good times and they go through bad times. Nobody needs to be patted on the back when you're going good. Guys need to be patted on the back when they're not going very good. And then you also see what type of personality he has when he's struggling. You know, guys can walk around the clubhouse with their chin up and head up when they're all going good, but boy, when you're down, do they go in their locker and hide, or do they work extra hard to try to get back to being good again? So in this game, there's so many ups and downs.
Well, Drew Butera could use a pat in the back. He's now hitless in his last 21 at bats. Tassone scores. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, no RBI for Butera as he hits into the double play.
So 2-1 ball game, base is empty, and here's Ben Revere.
But the Twins know what they get out of Drew Butera. I mean, not because he hit into the double play, but they know that they get a hit guy that is, you know, an under 200 hitter.
Right.
A guy that's known to be a very good defensive catcher with a great arm. They know that coming in. Who would have expected Joe Mauer to miss as many games as he did? You know, makes Drew play 3-4 times a week, where Drew, you know, he's better off playing once or twice a week.
Well, during this 11-game losing streak, that's been one of the trouble spots for the Twins in the batting order. Whoever they put out there to catch, Butera is now 0 for 21. Coincidentally, Rene Rivera is 0 for 16. So you got the catchers, the only two who are going to catch, A combined now 0 for 37. One and one to Ben Revere. Hit a ground ball to third his first time up. You know, and then just to continue the thought about rookies and impressions, how valuable is the first impression? We said we think we know what type of player Ben Revere is going to be. The type of player Kirby Puckett became could not have possibly been predicted at any point during his rookie season.
1984.
He was a singles hitter.
Right.
And he bunted a lot and didn't have any power until the 1986 season. 2-2 to Revere. And that's doinked foul.
Blake Bevan already with a career high 4 strikeouts in a ball game. First 2 innings, 4 strikeouts. And the base hit to Tassone, then Benson, the air. Got the Twins on the board. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Eric Wedge saying Bevan's really improved his curveball since he's been in the rotation. There it is right there, and Revere smacks at the left. And that ball gets by Robinson too, and a big turn at first for Revere. That'll bring up Brian Dinkelman. Window Concepts window of opportunity, showing you Brian Dinkelman with 12 hits in his last 23 at bats.
Yeah, Dinkelman, a guy that spent 5+ years in the minor leagues. He doesn't have a lot of power. He's a line drive, base hit type hitter, and he's proven that at the major league level with the 20 singles.
Because of that, fully expect Revere to take off here, or at least get a real good look at Bevan's move to first and delivery to the plate. Of course, with the runner being held at first, that hole on the right side is a little bit wider. Revere 33 steals in 42 tries.
Yeah, what the Twins will look from Bevan is how quick he is home. Does he bring that left knee up, or does he utilize the slide step? And he holds it.
Time called at what he does, and how he does it probably varies quite a bit depending on who's at first base. Tassone started the inning with a single, but he went to second on the error, and then Benson was at first for a while.
You see Ron Gardenhire with the stopwatch right there. Jerry White will keep a close eye on him.
Strike called, 0-1 to Dinkelman.
Hey, Ron Coomer, that's what Jerry White's looking at. That's what other players on the bench should be looking at. What type of how quick is he home?
He's not very quick home. He's probably average. He's got good quick feet to first base. As you see right there, he does a good job. He's very borderline balk from what I'm seeing here at first base.
Oh, pitchers don't balk.
Of course not. Why would you cheat, right? But he's got very quick feet going to first. But even though it looks like he's pretty quick because his knee comes up quick, he still comes up and then glides towards home. So Revere could get a jump.
Yeah, right there. That's almost the A.J. Burnett type of high leg kick with the runner on.
Yeah, he's definitely, I would say he's a little slower than average going to home plate. The one thing, though, that he's doing, Bert, is he's changing up his hold of the baseball. So
right.
He's not falling into a routine or a pattern as Swarzak did an inning ago.
1-1. Revere stays put, and the pitch looped to the third baseman, and that ends the inning. Couple of singles. Twins take advantage of a Seattle error. 3 singles, actually, in the inning, and they get one back. It's 2-1. gone to a World Series where you were not a participant.
Yes, I have. Yep, the one in Anaheim.
Well, you were right there. It was okay. And who were? You mean in 2002 when the Angels won it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's a 2-1 ball game. And the Mariners are hitting against Anthony Swarzak. Bottom third of the lineup, starting with Trayvon Robinson. And he takes ball one.
How about yourself?
Well, the first World Series I went to, as you know, John Wathen, who was the catcher for the Kansas City Royals. When the Royals finally got to the World Series in 1980, I went to the games in Kansas City, and it was just a thrill to be there. I always watched the games on TV, and then the only other World Series I've been to were the 87 and 91 World Series. Robinson, Jimenez, and Saunders. A very high pop-up to very short right field. One down. Chris Jimenez singled and scored in the second. He'll hit next.
Now, do you try to watch all the games in the World Series?
I try to.
Yeah, I do too.
But I'm one of the few people that pretty much watch every pitch of the All-Star game too.
But you know what? I know even as a player, I used to go home if I wasn't fortunate enough. And 20 of the 22 years, you go home and I'll watch the World Series. I'll watch what made those guys click and how they got to the World Series. Because as a player, that's where you want to go. You know, sometimes they say, well, you know, we've seen other teams celebrate. The Chicago White Sox celebrated in front of the Twins,
right?
You know, when they clinched. I used to sit and watch the excitement of what the other team went through, and I thought, you know what, if I work harder during the winter, maybe the next year it'll be somebody else watching us celebrate on the field.
You know, one of the good things about what we do is, of course, we get to know the players a little bit, whether they're former Twins or, you know, Brandon Inge, who I've always had just a tremendous amount of respect for, and everything he's gone through this year. So that's, you know, if the Tigers get there and if they win it, I feel somehow connected to the Tigers because I've admired the way Brandon Inge has conducted himself on and off the field.
Well, especially what he went through this year.
Right.
Being designated for assignment, taking it down to Toledo AAA, finding his swing again, and then getting called back up, and now they're going to postseason.
2-2 to Jimenez. On the right field line, Cuddyer has a long run. He's not going to get there, and it lands foul. And you say, well, the Twins are used to being in the playoffs. They're not in this year. What rooting interest could you have? And the White Sox aren't in it either, so you just take the same principle, at least I do. You root for whoever's playing the Yankees.
I like Jim Leyland. I like him as a person, as a manager, as a way that he goes about his business, the way he treats all his players. Not a negative word comes out of his mouth, it doesn't seem to me. And, you know, he's just an old-time baseball man. So you root for guys like that.
Or whoever is playing the Yankees. Up the middle, a base hit. Jimenez has his second hit.
Well, up here in the booth, our Circle Me Burt section, up here, the Moffitt family and Grandpa Don right here. I want to say hello to your wife, Betty. I know she's at home. Say hello to Betty. Say, hi, honey. They're going to be pretty soon celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Don is a World War II vet and make their home in Holland, Minnesota. So welcome up to the booth, you and your family. And he wants to thank us, he said. Well, we thank you for being a Twins fan.
Up and away to the number 9 batter, Michael Saunders.
And we know that Betty's watching, and Betty, you are hereby circled.
Mariners in the game tonight, starting a number 8 batter with a 149 batting average. Saunders hitting 151 at the start of the game. And so far, Jimenez and Saunders are 3 for 3. Well, I had to look up Holland, Minnesota, and it's right there, just a little bit south and west of Ruthven. Throw to second, and that wasn't close. Jimenez is thrown out handily.
Yeah, Jimenez trying to do what Saunders did in the second inning, steal second base, and not the jump that Saunders had. Jimenez trying his first stolen base of the year, and to no avail. Good job right there by Butera. Again, you know, Butera's not going to give you much offensive Lee, but he will give you a great throwing arm behind the plate and a good caller of the game.
Saunders lifts one to right field. Kadyr's under it. Swarzak gives up a hit, but faces just 3 men on the board.
Casino. The best stories start here. And by AT&T.
Twins trailing 2-1, trying to snap an 11-game losing streak. And it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 batters facing Blake Bevan. Kadir struck out swinging in the first inning against Bevan. Ball 1. Twins got 3 singles and a run in the third inning. The only 2-out hit came with after Butera's ground ball double play, breaking ball away, and it's 2-0. You know, it's amazing to me, and I think we talked about it last night. Carl Willis was mentioning to me yesterday before the game about the crowd here on the opening game of the series. Twins really struggling, and we said they've lost 23 of 27 at home. There's a deep drive to left field. Kadir's pulled one, and the ball caught right at the wall.
Boy, look to me, he just got underneath it, and that ball almost went out.
Came up a couple feet short from home run number 20.
Just got underneath it. I guess because I gave up so many, I can tell. It just got underneath that ball right there. I mean, you're talking about a quarter of an inch between right there or maybe another 5 feet for a home run. It would have been his 20th, but instead it's just a long out.
Here's Parmelee hitting a fly ball to center. Parmelee 0 for 1 and his average still .404. Hook, foul. You know, one of the things to like about Parmelee with an admittedly very small sample size, the Twins have hit him cleanup, and he's responded by driving in 9 runs. So he's been there with men on base, and run scoring has not been a strength here during this losing streak, but this guy's driven in 9 runs. Chip shot to left. Robinson with the catch out number 2.
Well, you know what? There's some writers out there that are they just like second guessing. They think they know the game. It's a shame.
2-away, and here's Danny Valencia. AT&T trivia question. I think we nailed it last night, didn't we? Who holds the Twins rookie record for hits in a month? Huh. had rookies of the year.
I'm going to go with Chuck Knobloch.
Carew, yeah, maybe. Knobloch. Oliva?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Oliva. Castino shared the award with Alfredo Griffin, Marty Cordova. 1-0 to Danny Valencia. And a 2-hopper to third. Bevan bounces back with a quick 1, 2, 3, 4th inning on just 7 pitches. Two to 1 Seattle. Fans out on the roof deck and sit around the fire and watch a ball game and enjoy a beverage. Talking about the attendance here really throughout this series with the Twins struggling to play good baseball, and it was Carl Willis's contention that under similar circumstances at the Metrodome there'd be about half as many people here. The ballpark itself has been such a great draw, and even though the Twins have limped through this season, literally, still over 3 million fans coming to the ball game.
Well, we had the Moffat family up here in the Circle Me Bert section, and a couple of those. This is their first time here, so you know a lot of people want to see this beautiful place. What the Twins need to do is continue to put winning product on the field, so the fans don't, not come.
Nice pickup by Valencia, and he throws to Parmalee, one quick out. Follow the Twins with MLB.com at Bat 11 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get the score, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at Bat to 31826. Visit TwinsBaseball.com for details. Here's Luis Rodriguez. Foul back, a strike. Yankees clinched their division last night. Tigers have clinched theirs. Rangers are on the verge of clinching. The only drama in terms of a playoff spot is in the wild card spot, and that is actually in both leagues right now. Braves coming back to the pack. Two and one. A little bit low, 3-1.
First 3-ball count for either pitcher here today.
walk, putting the light-hitting Rodriguez aboard. That'll bring up Dustin Ackley. Ron Coomer, you're getting a bird's-eye view of the Twins young players and the Mariner young players. What do you think of Ackley?
Dustin Ackley is a guy who has a very unique batting style. Here's the location of the pitch. Talked about an inside fastball, perfect pitch. He ended up getting a broken bat base hit. But look at his stance, feet together, and his head movement. His head probably moves 6 or 8 inches forward. When I see something like that, now right now as we're watching him, he gets a lot of movement going towards the pitcher. And whenever a hitter has movement going to this extreme, going towards the pitcher, Bert, as you know, he's going to be extremely vulnerable to pitches inside. And if you pound him in, like we did last at bat, you're going to end up breaking his bat more times than not. And once you speed him up and then he starts cheating, then very vulnerable to the off-speed pitches. This is very unique. I know he's a big prospect for the Seattle Mariners, but this is going to be something that he's going to have to make an adjustment with as he stays in the big leagues, because you just can't hit with that kind of head movement going towards the pitcher.
Yeah, not as much the body, the lower where he stands, because Frank Thomas kind of stood like that. You know, he's a pretty good hitter right there, but it's more what you're talking about, the head movement and little things like that.
But with Ackley, with Big Frank would have his feet together, but then his leg would come up with a big high leg kick like Kirby or somebody. Ackley, if you watch right here, folks, you watch his head go forward as he starts to look at the pitch. And to me, with all that movement with your head, if you can hit your spots, he's pretty vulnerable.
Hey, I don't know anything about hitting, but wait just a doggone minute.
This saw you.
I coached you in fantasy.
All right, okay, so we've established that.
Yeah.
He's playing 2 spots in the batting order behind a guy whose head moves more than any hitter in the history of the game.
Well, Ichiro, yeah.
I mean, I'm not disputing
Ichiro's head moves, but not like this. And you'll see a side swing. You pick out a spot in the back. That's only a couple inches that his head moved, and he turned on that ball. And Ichiro, when he's looking to pull the ball, he'll stay pretty still with his head. Ackley now, he's moving forward on a regular basis every swing. Pick a spot in the back behind you, and now you watch and see how much movement he gets with his head. That's really a tough way to hit.
But Ron, isn't the idea of hitting is I mean, if you got movement, but keeping the hands back like Ichiro does so well and just slapping it the other way?
The hands back, but I don't know if Ackley's going to really be a guy that's just going to want to slap the ball the other way if he's hitting in the middle of the lineup. And, you know, Ichiro is a very unique hitter. I think Wade Boggs had more head movement than most guys, and, you know, he hit the ball the other way a lot. When you're moving towards the pitcher, you know, there's just a lot of areas that you're vulnerable.
Full count. Rodriguez stays put, and a back-to-back walks with Swarzak bending over, thinking he might have clipped the corner. So Rodriguez walks, and now Ackley walks. 2 aboard for Mike Harp.
Yeah, pretty close pitch right there, and Rick Anderson's going to go out and quick trip mound to the mound for pitching coach Rick Anderson.
Harp singled in the first and was reached on a fielder's choice, was thrown out at the plate on Smoke's double in the third. Arby's and Fox Sports North giving you the chance to win a trip for 2 to Fort Myers, Florida. Pick up an Arby's It's Good Mood Food code card every Friday at any participating Arby's, and log on to foxsportsnorth.com. Click on the Fan Zone tab and enter the code for the chance to win. You've got to be a member of the Fan Zone, and you've got to be 18 or older.
I think that's what's so interesting on hitting. What Ron Coomer was talking about is everybody has their own stance where their comfort zone is. And Ron, I know you probably had it too, but you did have little things like a pitcher, you know, always said stay back, stay tall. Hitters did the same thing, didn't they?
For sure. And hitting and pitching, and when you got to your balance point before you started going towards home plate, hitting is the same thing. I had a big issue with rushing forward also. That was a problem. I tried to stop that, but when I was going bad, that's what I did. I would rush forward. So I always had to really concentrate on working back and getting a good load. To me, when you have head movement, that's really tough. Like a pitcher, if your head's not at your target, it makes it tough to throw the ball where you want to.
And you talk about a load, you're talking about the lower part of your body, your feet work, and making sure. That's a pretty good pitch right there, called the ball, and Swarzak falling behind all of a sudden here in the 5th inning. But it's more or less your foundation, right?
Absolutely. That was my biggest issue, is my front foot, my stride foot would pound out there too far, and I'd be over aggressive, and then as you go to swing. Now your weight has to transfer too far forward, and that's just not a good thing.
Foul back 2-1.
So where that pitch was right there, and when you do walk a couple batters and you fall behind, you're pretty much telling yourself, okay, I have to basically throw the ball right down the heart of the plate now, and hopefully the hitter will hit it somewhere. You'd like every pitch to be on the corner, but when you start falling behind, you have to get back into that groove, and that's what Swarzak needs to do. Butera can't move much behind the plate right now. There's another ball right down the pretty much, belt high, and for Swarzak's, something good happened right there that Mike Carp fouled 2 pitches off that were pretty hittable.
But the one thing about Swarzak today, he's really, since the first inning, he's had much better tilt on his pitches, even the ones that have been up. He's getting on top of the baseball, and the ball is shooting down a little better as the game has gone on than he did in the first inning.
Because early on, your adrenaline is flowing, you rush a little bit. Now, hopefully, he's in a better groove.
Liner to Valencia. All hands are safe on the bases. 2 down.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. When you walk 2 guys, you have to say, okay, hopefully the next guy will hit it at somebody. And that's exactly what Mike Carp did. The ball out over the plate, didn't have a lot of movement, and you hope that he hits it at somebody, and he did. So Swarzak got a break right there. Carp hitting it sharply, but there's Danny Valencia for the second out.
Carp a bigger man, and he's had more at bats certainly, but his swing reminds me a little bit of Parmalee's. Pitch out over the plate a couple of times today. He's hit the ball hard to the opposite field. Here's Smoke, single and a double so far. Smoke cracked a double to the gap in right center field, and then Cuddyer to Plouffe to Butera. They cut down Carp at the plate. There's a strike.
See, Ron Coomer, Smoke, a type of guy. I mean, he can generate some power from both sides of the plate. The Rangers saw this from this guy. He didn't do very well with the Rangers. Then he got traded over here. He's going to get a bit more of a chance here than he would in Arlington with the Rangers.
Well, and you look at his swing now and his approach. He gets a good load as the pitchers get loaded. He gets loaded. And then what you see is very little head movement, and his hands up good and high to fire down on top of the baseball and try to create that backspin. He has a very fundamentally sound approach to hitting.
1-1. So his career path dealt a serious alteration, being traded from the team with maybe the greatest hitters ballpark in the American League to Seattle. Safeco Field very much a pitcher's ballpark.
Yeah, but you know what? I think the Seattle's future is he's one of these guys. If the Seattle Mariners want to get back to the top of that Western Division, the American League, they need guys like this to really develop and hopefully have good years.
Swarzak clips the inside corner to even the count.
Still a youngster. Justin Smoke, still 24 years old. Rangers drafted him #1 back in 2008 out of the University of South Carolina. The Mariners brought in Jack Cust, hoping that Jack Cust could hit some home runs, but I think he hit 2 home runs.
Pitch looked well outside, but Swarzak gets the call. Smoke frozen at the plate, and the 2 walks do no damage in the 5th.
and his wife Lisa, who are spending their very first Twins game ever at Target Field, and they're in the Cushy Champions Club. What's your experience been like today?
Oh, this has been the most fun. This is wonderful. And boy, the food can't be beat.
The food and the seats and the view from the Champions Club, not bad. How about $100 worth of scratch-off tickets as well for David and Lisa? Dick and Bert?
All right, Marnie hanging around with the high rollers.
Yeah, very nice, Marnie. Get something to eat while you're down there, Marty.
Trevor Plouffe leading off the fifth for the Twins, down a run, and a bunt to the backstop, 1 strike. Bevan has pitched well. The Twins were, I guess, fortunate enough to bunch their 3 hits together in the 3rd inning to score a run, although the inning started with a pair of singles and the run actually scored on a ground ball double play. Plouffe, Tassone, and Benson here in the Twins' 5th. And a called strike, 0-2. To center. Saunders lopes over, 1 away. You were talking about the Twins starting rotation and how they need a number 1 or a number 2 guy. First, we'll answer a trivia question. I'll go Tony Oliva.
I will go Mr. Knobloch, Chuck Knobloch.
49 hits.
Wow.
Tony told me that, yesterday that he won his batting titles in 64 and 65 with a broken finger, which explained why the bat flew out of his hand so often. But he kept playing because he kept getting hits playing with a broken finger. Then he said in 1966 his finger was fine and he finished second. 1 strike to Tassone. Anyway, you were talking.
He could hit. He was fun to watch hit.
And talk about somebody who would get on a roll. And I couldn't imagine. Well, Jim Palmer talks about it. You know, if you faced Oliva, you couldn't get him out, regardless of what you threw or where you threw it. If it was anywhere near the plate, he was going to hit it hard.
I've said it before. I was sitting on the bench at the old Met, and somebody, I don't know who it was, they threw a ball that looked like it hit right on top of the plate, and Tony hit it a line drive home run out over the right field fence. That ball, I swear, bounced before he hit it.
Swinging a foul, 2-2. You were talking about the Twins' need for a number 1 starter. Well, the Mariners don't have that. They're looking for guys to fill in behind last night's starter Michael Pineda and, more importantly, Felix Hernandez. So if Blake Bevan can fill that role, there's less expected of him than might otherwise be the case, because the top end of the rotation looks to be in pretty good shape for them.
And that's nice to know when you're a youngster like Levin, to come up and know that you can watch, you know, Felix Hernandez work and the way that he goes about his business. So, yeah, when you're a youngster coming up, you want to have some veterans that have that leadership type role that you can follow.
Full count to Tassone. Hit hard to the gap in left center, away from Saunders, and he can't quite make the catch. Tassone will dig for second. The throw just blindly to the infield, but it'll keep Tassone there. Saunders nearly made a brilliant catch. As it is, it's a double for Tassone.
The second time that Tassone has taken a ball the other way, a base hit in his first at bat, leading off the second, and this is a 1-out double for Rene Tassone. Saunders giving it chase, and it looked like he hit the bottom of his glove right here as he leaped for it, at the heel of his glove. So good effort right there, but Tassone picks up a double, his 4th of the year.
He ended up at second, leading off the third, a single and an error charge to Robinson. Now he's at second with 1 out. And Benson and or Butera will try to get him in. Benson singled his last time up. To third on 2 hops. Seager throws across, 2 away, and it'll be left to Butera. Butera bringing an 0 for 21 hitless streak into this at bat. If you want to be a Twins season ticket holder, the only way to do so is to become a member of the Twins On Deck Circle. The On Deck Circle is currently 3,000 members strong and growing. Sign up today to take advantage of exclusive benefits and future season ticket opportunities. Get more information by calling 800-33-TWINS or going to twinsbaseball.com. And Butera gets his base hit, and he'll tie the game. So Butera ends the hitless string. Rebounds after a deflating double play grounder in the third and gets the job done with an RBI single.
Nice bonus right there for off the bat of Drew Butera, picking up his 20th RBI. Twins needed some good two-out hitting, and that ball right there about thigh high. And Butera lines it in the left center, and Tassone scores the tying run.
Good for Drew Butera as he gets the game tied with a clutch two-out hit. Here's Ben Revere. Strike on the outside corner. Revere slashed a single to left field in the third inning, where we've seen Parmelee, who's a completely different type of hitter, use the whole field. The one thing we haven't seen Revere do much is pull the ball. A lot of hits to left and a lot of hits up the middle.
Yeah, that's his game plan right there, is hit it, up the middle.
Inside.
Right now, once the pitchers adjust to that, they'll probably start busting them in a little bit more, and then he's got to learn to maybe turn on it a little bit.
Again, the comparisons to Kirby Puckett, valid or not, but Kirby wore number 34 in his career, and he had so many ground balls to second. The joke was they ought to change his number to 43 because that was the entry in the scorebook so many times. 2-2. I don't know what you can make with the number 11. Single and a stolen base. And that's dribbled towards Steve Little. After the game, the Twins go to Cleveland. They play one game tomorrow, 2 games Saturday, and 1 game on Sunday. Again, I'll be on assignment, so I won't be there. Won't be the same for you, I know, but
you'll be missed.
Anthony LaPanta will be.
You'll definitely be missed.
2-2. Close pitch, 3-2.
When I found out that Anthony was doing the game, I was trying to hope that I would be on assignment. But
you were on assignment when I was at Kansas City.
Yeah.
You've been on an assignment a lot this year.
I know. Pretty cool, huh?
Nice work if you can get it. Well, with 2 gone, Butera will take off early here. Full count to Revere. There goes the runner. And there goes the ground ball hit right at the first baseman to end the inning. Hey, the Twins got a 2-out hit in a clutch spot. Butera delivered the game-tying single. Drew Butera tying the game with a single. And the Twins are in a tie game as we go to the 6th inning.
Yeah, Mariners scored 1 in the first, 1 in the second. So far, so good for Anthony Swarzak. He has given up 3 hits over the last 3 innings, but able to put some zeros on the board.
He could use a 1-2-3 inning. He hasn't had one of those. He faced just 3 men on the 4th, but Jimenez was thrown out trying to steal. Seager will lead off the 6th. A tie game.
85 pitches for Swarzak, 54 strikes.
We have Clint Fagan behind the plate. Well, I hate to use the term, but a fill-in umpire, minor league guy called up. At least I've never seen his name before, but he seems to want to call strikes, and that doesn't make him a bad person.
He's a very good umpire.
Just think how good a hitter you'd have been, though, if you'd have had a tight strike zone in your at-bats.
I still would have been a bad hitter, Dick. The strike zone never bothered.
That didn't have anything to do with it?
No.
2-1 to Seager. Robinson and Jimenez will follow.
The only thing I know about hitting is I couldn't do it.
And a base hit to left. And Seager's aboard with a leadoff single.
And 9th hit for the Mariners.
And with the exception of Smoke's double, the others have all been singles.
Yeah.
Here's Robinson. A couple of fly balls to the outfield. There's a good bunt. Swarzak flips to Dinkelman. A sacrifice getting Seager over to second. Twins lost a ball game. It was a tough ball game, but the Mariners executed and the Twins didn't. They got a sacrifice bunt down in their big inning in the 6th inning, and teams that execute should be rewarded. And the Twins haven't done things like that, and now they get a sacrifice bunt down here in the 6th.
And so many times a sacrifice bunt like Robinson did right there sometimes opens up the inning. Eric Wedge hoping that Jimenez here, who already has 2 hits, can pick up an RBI, but sometimes when you do that little thing and all of a sudden it's not a 1-run inning, it becomes a 2 or 3-run inning.
I said the 6th inning. It was in the 7th. The Mariners got 4 hits in the inning, but maybe the most critical at bat in the whole inning was Adam Kennedy's sacrifice for the first out of the inning, getting Smoke and Olivo, or a Pena rather, and Olivo up a base to second and third. Then Robinson dropped his base hit into right field with 2 outs.
And how many runs they score that inning?
4. 3 actually. Revere with the catch out number 2. Home Depot doing more on defense, focusing on the blur out in center field.
Well, we showed you in the open Ben Revere in last night's ball game. Off the bat of Justin Saunders making a great catch against the wall, and we've seen Ben Revere cover a lot of ground. And this is probably one of the best catches ever right there for Ben Revere. Straightaway center.
2 down. Here's Saunders with the go-ahead runner at second. Saunders with a single and a fly ball to right. They pick off throw to second. Now the runner trying for third, and the throw stays in the ballpark. And the Twins got a huge break with Dinkelman's throw, or was it Plouffe's? Plouffe's throw somehow not going into the stands, and at least for the time being, the Mariners don't get their 3rd run.
Well, again, trying to hurry his throw right there. Seager got caught off at second base. Drew Butera throwing behind Seager. Watch Seager right here. You see Plouffe. The play was put on, and then Plouffe's throw over the head. And Twins are very lucky right here that this ball did not go into the stands. Hits the railing right there and deflects back into the playing field.
1-0 to Saunders. And now 1-1. Now that play, I believe, at least it used to be, that is called by the catcher. And the sign could be anything from grabbing some dirt, throwing it toward the third base dugout, or whatever sign they had to signal both the pitcher and the shortstop that there's going to be a pickoff at second base. Up and away, 2-1.
Yeah, that more between Butera and Trevor Plouffe. The pitcher a lot of times isn't involved in that, other than Butera's going to say, fastball away.
Right, but you don't want him to throw a strike there, do you?
Well, I mean, if the play is on, I've never actually been on that to where it's a pitch out,
Who was the pitcher in the 87 playoffs when Darrell Evans got picked off third? Do you remember? Because I don't. Would it have been Berenguer?
I'm thinking it was Juan Berenguer.
But in that case, as the play was described later, the pitch was a great pitch down and away, which caused the runner, in this case Evans, to lean toward home plate and allowed the pickoff to happen. Well, there's a strikeout, and that makes everybody feel better about what happened a few moments ago. Freeze can. Michael Cuddyer almost hit his 20th home run of the year. Robinson backing up to the wall. Cuddyer will hit second this inning. Maybe he'll hit one out. It'll be our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. But right now, he was the subject of our Frost Brewed Coors Light Freeze can. There is a difference. Wonder in the history of Twins television whether the same player has ever been involved in both the Coors Light Freeze can and the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
Let's hope it happens today.
Dinkelman dribbles it foul, 2 strikes. Dinkelman, Cuddyer, and Parmelee here on the Twins' 6th. Been the bottom of the lineup that's gotten it done against Bevan. Really, the top 6 hitters haven't done anything at all.
Yeah, Ben Revere with a single in the 3rd inning. Other than that, you're right. I mean, 4 of the 5 hits coming from the lower part of the lineup. Tassone with a couple hits.
A lot of those pop-ups, fly balls. 1 down.
I think what I've seen from Bevan, it's the first time I've seen him. He changes speeds pretty well. The curveball, he's left up a couple times, but pretty good control of the fastball. No walks, 4 strikeouts. All 4 strikeouts came in the first 2 innings.
Cuddyer struck out in the 1st, hit the warning track fly ball to left in the 4th. I thought when the ball left the bat in the 4th inning it was gone. But that's only because the home runs that are hit here almost always are pulled. Very few opposite field home runs. And very few straightaway home runs. I was interested to read last night after the game that the Mets now are going to reconfigure Citi Field because they finally come to the conclusion, to call strike 1 and 2, that it is too much of a pitcher's ballpark. And so they're going to redesign the fencing at Citi Field to make it easier to hit home runs in.
Oh, everything for the hitters.
I knew you were going to say that.
Oh, yeah.
Cuddyer breaks his bat but gets a base hit to left. I knew you were going to say that. And further, I thought if you read that article, it would disturb you to the point where you'd probably lose some sleep over it.
Well, I mean, there was talk even here. You know, you had some players that wanted the fences brought in here at the Target Field because last year, you know, they felt that they couldn't, this wasn't a fair ballpark offensively.
Here's Parmelee, a fly to center and a fly to left. Given what he's done up here in the last couple of weeks, he's due for a hit. Cuddyer rather slyly has started to pick up some more stolen bases here in the last couple of weeks.
Hey, 11 out of 12 for Cuddyer. A smart base runner.
Swing and a miss. But the fastball got by him.
And what I mean by a smart base runner, you know, he'll watch that pitcher, and if he's not paying any attention, then Cuddyer will take off. Not a big lead. See him kind of peeking in right there, maybe trying to catch a sign, maybe a breaking ball if the catcher uses only one sign.
Called strike, and it's 0-2. I'm not trying to hit a baseball here, but I think this is a very fair ballpark. I mean, other teams don't seem to have any problems hitting home runs. You pull the ball here and hit it hard, it's going to go out.
You see Cuddyer looking in right there. And all of them have been fastballs so far.
Away from Parmelee.
So Jimenez, the catcher, may only be using one sign. All of a sudden he'll put down, you know, 4 fingers for a changeup, or maybe put down 2, a breaking ball. That's when Cuddyer might think about taking off. Maharis warming up.
Those are larcenous eyes there.
Yeah, he's peeking. Oh, peeking. You know, that's why the Twins, we said it before, with a runner at first base, they go through more than one sign. Some clubs, you know, Jimenez may only put down 1 finger, 1 sign. And that's what Cuddyer's waiting to see. Let's take a look right here. Does he use more than 1 sign? A little finger in. That means fastball inside.
Pitched them away. Now they're coming inside. Off the plate. 1-2.
And all 4 pitches have been fastballs.
On the first one, it looked like he got it by Parmelee. A little late with his swing.
So that's the game within the game, how guys try to get themselves a little bit better. A better jump right here. And this is the fastball, the 2-seamer. He wants to go fastball. There's the changeup.
And there goes Cuddyer. And the pitch hit to center. Saunders with the catch.
Cuddyer didn't tag the bag.
He didn't retouch that.
No.
He rounded it to the inside. And so we'll see if the Mariners appeal here. No gestures from the dugout. Parmelee retired for out number 2.
Now Ackley at second base. He's kind of hovering around second. I'm surprised nobody saw that from the dugout.
He did tilt his body toward third, and then
he never retouched. Twins get a break.
Here's Valencia. They caught one in the top of this inning when Plouffe's throw didn't go into the 4th row. Swing and a miss.
Let's take a look at Cuddyer right here. It's an all-out steal, and all of a sudden, okay, where's the ball? He tagged, and then you have to retouch, and he did not retouch.
That would be interpreted as rounding the bag.
Yep.
You have to do it before the next pitch.
Yes.
You couldn't come back after a pitch and appeal that. And Valencia fists one foul.
Usually there's always somebody on the bench that notices that. And I'm surprised nobody did on the Seattle Mariner bench.
2 strikes to Valencia. And a bouncer to Steve Little. What a catch. What a catch. Trying to get on the highlight video as a third base coach. Two strikes to Valencia. And they pitch out thinking that Cuddyer might take off, but he held his ground. Twins in search of one of those 2-out hits. They got one in the 5th to tie the game. 2-out extra base hit here might give them a lead. One and 2 to the Twins' third baseman. Nice dig. Blocked by Jimenez. On the season, the 15 home runs for Valencia. But his 28 doubles lead the team. Twins need a gapper. Breaking ball missing inside, and it's a full count. Now Cuddyer will take off with Plouffe on deck.
Yeah, Carp still hanging around first base. The first baseman, see if he plays behind Cuddyer. They're going to hold him on.
They're going to keep holding him on.
A couple of reasons why you don't want Cuddyer to get a good lead in case of an extra base hit. And not too many times we've seen Danny hit that ball to right field on the ground.
There goes Cuddyer, and the pitch fouled. Now you're saying, or suggesting at least, that if it was Dinkelman, they probably wouldn't hold the run.
Depending on the hitter. Danny more of a pull hitter. And as you mentioned, Danny with 28 doubles leads the Twins in that department. So, you know, if he doesn't hold him on, Cuddyer gets a better lead than he's going to get right here on a 3-2 pitch.
Cuddyer goes. There's a little pop up. And the third baseman, Seager, in foul ground ends the inning. On to the 7th in a tie game.
early off of Anthony Swarzak, one in the first, one in the second. Hugh Butera, a big 2-out hit, that coming in the 5th inning. That tied the game at 2 apiece. Anthony Swarzak, as I mentioned, a couple runs in the first 2 innings, but then put 4 zeros on the board. Swarzak's afternoon is done. 97 pitches, 61 for strikes. And now the Twins bullpen takes over. It's Jose Mijares, the first one out of the bullpen, making his 57th relief appearance. Got a chance for a win right here. Mijares still looking for his first win out of that bullpen and put a 0 on the board. Maybe the team will get some runs at the bottom of the 7th.
Ichiro Suzuki to lead off the 7th inning. First pitch, a chest-high fastball.
Now, see, today I think I saw Swarzak adjust. You know, the first couple innings I was talking about the fastball up, and then I think in the middle innings, the last 4 innings, he adjusted well. Changed speeds a little bit. Just did a better job.
Well, his words, not mine, after his last start, he said he made the wrong adjustments. He was trying to change some things, but he didn't make the proper adjustments. It's a fly ball to center. Revere giving away to Cuddyer. 1 away. So it's not just adjusting, it's having the aptitude to make the right changes if things aren't starting off on the right foot.
Yeah, everything to me adjusting is off the fastball. Location of the fastball. Where he was up, he started to get the ball down. He and Drew Butera worked very nicely over the last 4 innings.
Luis Rodriguez 0 for 2 with a walk. Rodriguez now up there as a right-handed batter. Down low, ball 1. And now 2-0. Well, Swarzak had a hard time throwing strikes to Rodriguez in the 5th. He actually issued back-to-back walks, the only walks he allowed in his 6 innings of work. Strike 2-1. Three and 1. Ackley on deck.
You have to come in with a fastball right here. You don't want to walk this guy for the 2nd time in the ball game. Make Rodriguez swing the bat.
And he pulls it foul. 3-2. Life's a lot easier when there aren't base runners. And Rodriguez is going to reach with a drive to the right field corner. Cuddyer gets to it quickly. They throw behind Rodriguez, who has to kind of sidestep Parmalee to get back to the bag. Rodriguez looks out at his former teammate Cuddyer, and he's aboard with a 1-out single. Wednesday, it's another Rasmussen College Student Day. The Twins hosting the Royals at 7:10, last game of the season. Standing room only tickets are half price with students with valid ID, or for students with valid ID. Tickets are available on the day of game only, and they're limited, so make your plans to come out early. And for more information about Rasmussen College Student Days, go to twinsbaseball.com. And again, it's not only the last game of this season, but it'll be the last game of John Gordon's great career as a Twins broadcaster, and a special pregame ceremony on Wednesday. We invite you to come early for that, and if you're only going to come to 1 game, or you're going to go up to 2 games in the Kansas City series, try to make Wednesday one of them.
I thought that was a great play by Michael Cuddyer right there, throwing behind the runner right there. And Parmalee, because a lot of runners will round that bag on a base hit, and sometimes they get caught right there. So smart play by Cuddyer.
Fly ball to center, hitting the general direction of Ben Revere. That's out number 2. I don't know why I thought of it now, but when they first played at the Metrodome the first couple of years, on the artificial turf out of the cutout area at second base, between second and third base, there was a slick spot, and the Twins had the first baseman follows a runner to second on the double, and there were, I'll bet you, a half dozen times where they threw behind the runner at second base to Hrbek, trapping a runner off second base who got out of the dirt onto the artificial turf, spun his wheels on that slick spot, and couldn't get back to the bag.
Call that home field advantage.
Yeah, knowing it's there and playing accordingly, and if you're the outfielder, throwing behind in the hopes that that might happen.
So it wasn't just the fans that blew out when the Twins hit.
Fly to left, and Benson going back to the track to end the inning.
It was the grease that they put out right over by his shortstop.
Thank you, Bobby Valentine. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Medica. Right now, you can get 20 crispy chicken McNuggets for just $4.99 at McDonald's. And by CenturyLink. Quest is now CenturyLink. Visit CenturyLink.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back as the game is knotted up at 2 apiece. Trevor Plouffe will lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Plouffe so far 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly ball to center field. Blake Blevin pitching very well out there. Another quality start so far for the right-hander, making just his 14th major league start.
We've seen a pretty good curveball. He just threw one to Plouffe for strike 1. There's again. Now, I'll say a pretty good curveball, but obviously, you're the standard bearer for what a good curveball is.
Oh, he's got a good break on that breaking ball. Good tight rotation, keeping it down.
Fastball grounded left side, picked up by Seager. A little bit of a stumble. A non-target throw across the diamond, 1 down.
I think the only breaking ball I've seen him leave up was to Ben Revere that Ben, slapped it the other way. Nice defensive play right there by Seager.
1 gone. Here's Rene Tassone.
Seager, a utility type guy. That's the way the Mariners look at him. First 2 ball games at short, and now getting a chance to play third. Also plays some second base.
Tassone with a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. He's driven 2 balls to the left center field area. Now he pulls it behind Jerry White. The Pepsi Max in-game box score with most of the I don't even want to call it thunder. Most of the production from the bottom third of the lineup.
Yeah, Rene Tassoni having a good day at the plate. 2 for 2. He has scored both runs for the Twins.
1-1. The bottom 3 hitters, as you saw, 4 for 6. With 2 runs scored and both runs scoring during the at-bats from the bottom of the order. 1 run scoring on Butera's double play ball. Where that pitch was, it looked pretty good, but it's 2-1.
Bevan again, 22 years old, coming over from the Texas Ranger organization in the Cliff Lee trade. Rangers' #1 pick back in 2007.
And that'll reach the seats down the left field line.
He's done a good job of working both sides of the plate. He's thrown some, the fastball into left-handers at times. That pitch fastball away.
Cesar Jimenez, who might get a chance to throw to Chris Jimenez.
Yeah. Jimenez picked up the win in last night's game, his first major league win against the Twins.
2-2. Breaking ball bounced to left side, picked up by Rodriguez, and another good throw, 2 down. That'll bring up Joe Benson. This would be a good time for Joe Benson's first major league home run. I've said that a few times.
Yes, you have. Keep saying it. He's finally going to hit one, hopefully.
And my call, if you will, would be the only one that anyone remembers. They won't remember the other 12 times.
Benson hit 16 home runs in New Britain, AA affiliate for the Twins. Hitting .285.
Fastball down the middle. Benson hit a rocket over the head of the center fielder last night, Trayvon Robinson. That took care of Jimenez's mask. A metallic reverberation through Target Field. There's what it sounds like. From a good distance away, it was still loud. Huh. Two strikes to Benson. Benson 1 for 2 today. Now 50 at bats, 15 strikeouts. And as you've been pointing out, whenever I've mentioned that, he has always been, even in his minor league days, a strikeout guy. That power does not come without some give back at the other end. One and two. To short center. Saunders comes in. Shortstop goes out. Caught by Rodriguez, and a 1-2-3-7 for Bevan.
Tuesday and again next Friday, all at 7 o'clock. It's Columbus, the St. Louis Blues, and Edmonton Oilers, streaming live on our website, foxsportsnorth.com. Hockey season, Dick and Bert, here it comes.
All right.
There's ice involved in hockey, isn't there?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Cold ice.
Won't be long. The lakes will be frozen over. I'm going to get my auger tuned up.
Well, Jose Majaras worked a very good 7th inning. Now the 8th inning belongs to Glenn Perkins. Perkins making his 63rd relief appearance. Very good numbers for Perkins.
Justin Smoak will lead off the 8th inning. Kyle Seager and Trayvon Robinson due to follow. Smoak with 2 hits, an RBI single back in the 1st inning. Just hit a little pop fly into short center, and it landed between Plouffe, Dinkelman, and Revere.
Yeah, Smoak now hitting as a right-handed hitter, where he's hitting .261. 4 of his 14 home runs from the right side of the plate.
Hit in the face several weeks ago, so as a right-handed batter, he uses the helmet with the cheek guard. Breaking ball, tap foul. Maybe that's what you needed. If you
cheek guard?
Yeah, if you'd have come to the plate with maybe a more menacing look or something.
Now my bat was menacing enough. It had holes in it.
Chopper left side. Valencia was guarding the line, and that opened up the hole. Smoak has a base hit and kind of limps his way toward first base. I don't think he's feeling real good. And sure enough, he's going to be pinch run for again by Willie Mo Pena.
You know, he's been got that little bit of aggravation of the groin area. So Pena, who pinch ran for him in yesterday's ball game, pinch running for him here in the 8th inning. And Smoak picks up his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Hey, if you're up early Saturday and Sunday, watch Fox Sports North Outdoors. Great hunting and fishing shows for you. Starts at 6 in the morning on Saturday, 8 in the morning on Sunday. Fox Sports North Outdoors presented by Menards. Pena at first. Perkins gives up a bunt to the 3rd baseman. Valencia looked at second, throws to first, and another successful sacrifice for the Mariners. In the 6th inning, it was Robinson sacrificing Seager to second. Now Seager sacrifices Pena.
The little things, and that's what Eric Wedge, you know, their club isn't going anywhere as the Twins aren't, so you play fundamental baseball.
Really important, though, for the Mariners because they don't have much pop in their lineup, and if they're going to win games, they need to win a lot of one-run games because they're not going to blow anybody out. Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss. Another one. Robinson swings over the top. Three in a row. And the pitches ended up farther and farther out of the strike zone.
Smart on Perkins and Butera right there, noticing that, hey, he didn't have a very good swing at the first slider. He didn't have a very good swing at the second, so why throw anything else? And Perkins picks up a strikeout.
Here's Jimenez, the catcher. A couple of hits in the ball game. And a breaking ball called a strike. fastball, which must have looked 105 after all that breaking stuff. 2 strikes.
A good fastball there by Perkins, clocked here at Target Field at 94.
Almost to the backstop. Nice block by Butera. And it's 2-2. Now a full count. First base, of course, open.
Yeah, you lay off that pitch right there. Butera's going to go out and talk to Perkins about this pitch. Michael Saunders on deck, a left-handed hitter.
It just featured a lot of breaking stuff in the last couple of at-bats. Jimenez took a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Time call. And he walked him. So now first and second, 2 away, and the number 9 batter Saunders.
Saunders going back to the bench. Looks like Miguel Olivo will pinch hit.
So Olivo will hit with 2 on and 2 out.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Olivo on the season, just a .225 hitter, but he is 3 for 4 with a pinch hit home run off the bench. So as things have gone for the Mariners, they have just 8 pinch hits all season, and Olivo has 3 of them. He's actually late on the slider, it looked like. 1 strike. Mariners 8 for 42, which is a sub .200 batting average off the bench. He's missing 1-1.
Not missing by much.
Little dribbler up the line, and here we go again. Valencia just holds on to it. There's been some poor play on the field, to be sure, but there have been so many little dribblers. Jim Thome's shattered bat, the little squibber that Dunsing couldn't field quickly or efficiently enough, and now this thing to fill the bases.
Something in the game of baseball you have no control over, and that's that little bleeder right there, that Olivo, like a swinging bunt right down that third baseline.
And Gardy shaking his head, and these are all at home. You're supposed to have a home field advantage and get some of those yourself. I guess the Twins did catch a break on Plouffe's overthrow at third base last inning, or 2 innings ago. Here's Ichiro with the bases loaded, and there's a fastball, strike 1. Two strikes. Perkins trying to clean up the 8th inning here. Smoke got a base hit. Ground ball through the hole on the left side. Walk and an infield hit. And now back to Perkins. And a lob to first ends it. Mariners leave the bases full in the 8th.
See if the Twins can come up with at least a run here, and we hope you'll join us for our post-game show, Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink, where we will hopefully be announcing that, yes, this streak for the Twins is over. We will soon find out. Plus, we'll look at Anthony Swarzak settling down and settling in after his start this afternoon, and as always, reaction from Ron Gardenhire as well as inside the Twins clubhouse after this game today. Dick and Bert, which we hope has a pretty exciting finish.
That'd be nice. That man deserves it. The fans deserve it. They've remained supportive. Bevin's been very good here today, but the Twins will hope to take a late lead against him. Matt Tolbert announced as a pinch hitter, and that brings Eric Wedge out to make the pitching change. So Bevin's day is done after all.
Yeah, very good. Another quality start for young Blake Bevan. That's 11 quality starts in 14 major league starts.
So Tolbert announced, and he'll face a different pitcher when we come back. Has signed 1,000 baseballs with the inscription "Official Ball of the 1991 World Series." They're great collectibles. They're numbered, also contain other Game 7 information. Jack was telling me there's a lot of info on that baseball. That's why it took so long for him to sign them all. Each ball costs $91, and a portion of the proceeds benefit the Twins Community Fund. There are only 1,000 of them out there, and you can visit twinsbaseball.com/1991 to get all the tales. For instance, if you've forgotten what the relative humidity was in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series, Jack might very well have inscribed that on the baseball.
Here's Cesar Jimenez making his 6th appearance, a 1-0. The win last night, I mentioned before, his first major league win. He was up with the Mariners in 2006 and 8. But a September call-up this year, finally got his first major league win, a 5-4 win last night out of bullpen.
And we're all cheated on the hope that Cesar Jimenez would pitch to Chris Jimenez, because Jimenez is out of the game. Olivo's doing the catching. Up and away, ball 1. One and 0 to the leadoff man, pinch hitter Matt Tolbert. 2-0. Olivo staying in the game and playing behind the plate. Jimenez is now out in left field, and Robinson is in center. Three and 0. Well, this is why managers, they don't get fired for things like this, but they decide they don't want to do it anymore. You make the change, and you got Matt Tolbert pinch hitting in the 9th spot. The new pitcher, walks him on 4 pitches.
Yeah, Jimenez worked an inning and a third in last night's ball game.
And now here's Ben Revere, and we'll see if he is asked to drop down a bunt, and if he does a better job in the 8th inning tonight than he did in the 9th inning the other day.
Yeah, what we did not see Revere do is square around. He tried to bunt almost like the way he's trying to stand right there in the box, just try to lay down. Now, if there's a sacrifice, you square around, put your chest toward the pitcher so you can get that bat out front.
Takes a strike. And then, too, it looked like the other night, Revere didn't really have good pitches to bunt, pitches that were out and away from him, and now he takes one down the middle for a strike.
With the third baseman in, we saw even in the other couple nights ago, that third baseman playing so far in, just bunt it down toward that first baseline.
Close pitch taken for a ball. Ron Gardenhire talking yesterday about even when Revere tries to bunt for a hit, when he tries to drag the bunt, he ends up kind of giving it a swinging bunt look coming out of the box.
This will be something that they'll work a lot on in spring training.
1-1.
This is a sacrifice. You're not trying to bunt for a base hit. You're trying to move the man from first to second.
He was in the box when the ball hit him. It's 1-2. If only the Twins would have somebody in spring training who could bunt, an instructor, a special.
Yeah, like Mr. Carew.
Yeah. It's 1-2, and we'll see if they ask Revere to still put the bunt down here. Seager is back now at third base, playing in the dirt. So there would be more bunting room up that third baseline if Revere feels more comfortable putting it out there. Takes inside, 2-2. Looks like he's going to swing away. Saw the Mariners twice drop down a sacrifice bunt, and in both cases it did not lead to a run. Oh, very close pitch, and Revere's lucky to still be standing up there. 3-2, and we'll see if the Twins send Tolbert in motion here. Dinkelman on deck. Up the middle. Through for a hit. Tolbert rounds second. Digging for third. The throw coming to third. Not in time. Now Revere to second, and he's out. So Revere rolls one up the middle for his second hit. Tolbert gains third base, but there's an out now for Dinkelman.
Well, you want to be aggressive, but sometimes too over-aggressive right here. Rivera has to bunt, doesn't get the bunt down, but does get the base hit up the middle. Now Robinson out in center field. He tries to get Tolbert at third base with something on it, and Seager going off the bag and then making a throw over to second to get the sliding Ben Revere.
Infield in now for Dinkelman. 0 for 3 on the day. Checked his swing. Pitch in the dirt, ball 1.
You can see that Ben Revere not even close to second base before Ackley makes it a tag.
1-0 to Dinkelman. Roll to the right side. No, and the ball goes by Carp, but Tolbert doesn't score. We saw Carp in left field pull his head up the other night on a base hit and allowed the Twins to get an extra base, and it looked like he did the same thing on that busted bat roller.
You're trying to pick up the runner. Tolbert right here gets jammed. It'll be an error on Carp. And Tolbert, you know, it wasn't a contact play right there, so Tolbert had to wait around, and Carp just boxed it up.
Well, an interesting outing for Jimenez. He gives up a leadoff walk, a single, and a bouncer to Carp, not turned into an out. The only out made on the bases. And we'll come back and take a look at where Tolbert was at third and whether he might have been able to score on the roller off the glove of Carp.
Make sure that ball gets through the infield. You know, he didn't know. I mean, if Carp makes that play cleanly, Tolbert is a dead duck at first base, and then at home, and then you've got a runner at first base with 2 outs. So no, Tolbert doesn't take off there.
I always thought Matt Tolbert to be one of the best base runners the Twins have had. Remember his great base running play that got the Twins on the board in game 163 against the Tigers, coming in from third base. Here's Steve Delabar.
Yeah, Delabar, just a September call-up for the Seattle Mariners. He split the season between the high A ball, double A, and triple A, and now at the major league level.
Dozen hits for the Mariners, 7 for the Twins, but they've got a chance to take the lead here. Runners at first and third, and only 1 out. Now, how would you classify where the Mariners are playing their infielders here? It's not really double play depth, and it's not the infield in either.
Yeah, halfway. They're hoping that Kadire hits it sharply at somebody, keeps runner Tolbert from maybe trying to score, but also a chance to get a double play.
2 strikes quickly to Kadire. Brewers like cold hard blast. Unfortunately, we got to take you back to Monday's home run at Yankee Stadium.
Crushing home run straightaway center.
And Kadire was the guy who struck out with the bases loaded, nobody out here on Tuesday night, hoping to get revenge here. Bounce to the right side. 1, 2, and the inning ends.
That's why they played halfway.
Hit it right to the second baseman. Ackley will go to the ninth. Tied at 2. Are hoping their luck changes. They hope to put one in the left-hand column, breaking an 11-game losing streak. We go to the 9th inning. It'll be Luis Rodriguez hitting against Joe Nathan.
Yeah, Nathan, of course, the closer for the Twins. Not many save opportunities for Joe Nathan. He has 2 in the month of September. Both of them in the 2 wins the Twins have been able to generate in the month of September, making his 46th relief appearance.
Rodriguez, Ackley, and Carp. And strike 1. Rodriguez has reached his last 2 times up with a walk and a single.
Seattle winning the first 2 ball games. They're trying to sweep the Twins here in Minnesota, something that they haven't been able to do in a 3-game series since 1996. Twins have pretty much dominated the Seattle Mariners here in Minnesota over the years, but it just has not been good Twins baseball.
Very high. 1-2. Lifted behind first. Harmony in foul ground, calling for it. Not giving away to the second baseman. Dinkelman, 1 away. Here's Ackley, who too has singled and walked this afternoon. liner towards center field. Base hit with 1 out. One thing that's happened, and it's not noticeable except when it doesn't happen, but remember when Revere was called up first couple months, there were a lot of plays like the one we just had where he would charge a ball and he was so in a hurry, again that word, in a hurry, to field the ball and throw it in because his arm isn't very strong, that he bobbled a lot of balls. And the Twins have worked with him very hard on that, and he really hasn't had that happen now in quite some time.
No, I mean, he's realizing that, that's a base hit right there, and just get the ball back in. Ackley, that's not going to be a double, just get the ball back in. We saw Joe Benson in last night's ball game dive for a ball that he should have waited back on, and that ended up being the deciding run in last night's ball game.
Right.
So those are the little things that when you're a young guy up at the major league level, you want to impress everybody rather than just making the routine plays.
1-1. Nathan in the game, in a tie game, because no more save opportunities would be out there for the Twins since we're in the top of the ninth, tied at 2. So go ahead and use him. As Bert mentioned, he hasn't been used much lately, unfortunately. There goes the runner. The pitch swung on and missed. And Rivera doing the catching, never got his grip on the ball, and Dustin Ackley steals second.
Well, Joe Nathan, one of those guys you can run against because of that high leg kick, and Ackley read that perfectly. Rivera didn't get, a grip on that baseball, but look at the jump that Ackley had right there on a curveball. He steals his 6th base in 6 attempts, and he gets in the scoring position. 3rd stolen base for the Mariners here this afternoon.
2-2. Nathan showing signs of being back to where he was before the surgery, and of course he was one of the top closers in the game and was able to get a lot of strikeouts in the process. He'd like to get one here. Carp with 77 strikeouts in 266 at bats. Bounce to the right side, a head high hop for Parmelee, out number 2, and Ackley goes to 3rd, and that'll bring up Pena.
Pena getting his first at bat when he pinch ran for Justin Smoke in the 8th inning.
Pena, too, very strikeout prone. Nathan will try to get him, see if the Twins can get to the bottom of the 9th in a tie game. There's a swing and a miss.
Alex Burnett struck out Pena in yesterday's ball game in his Pena's only at bat.
Two strikes. Oh, 2 to William Opeña. Go ahead runner at 3rd, 2 away. Just missed the inside edge. Popped up right side. Dinkelman out. Cuddyer in. Nathan with a clean top of the 9th. The Twins have won just 22 of their last 26 home games, but they won their last 3 games on getaway day.
For the Twins, 2 for 3 has scored the 2 runs the Twins have been able to put on the board. Justin Smoak, even though he's out of the ball game, had a good day. 3 for 4, a double, couple singles, RBI. Blake Bevan, 7 very good innings, 95 pitches. First time the Twins saw the young right-hander. Pitched very well for 7 innings.
Chris Parmelee will lead off the bottom of the 9th. This free fall started in August for the Twins. They had an 0-5 homestand, but 1 on getaway day. Then a 1-10 homestand and 1 on getaway day. Parmelee takes ball 1. Lost the first 3 games of the Chicago series and 1 on getaway day. They were winless in this homestand until today. The Mariners have been walked off 12 times this year on their road games. Parmelee takes up high, 2-0. Rip at a 2-0 pitch and a foul tip. 2-1. There's been just 1 walk-off home run in this ballpark. The most memorable at bat in this ballpark, Jim Thome's home run against Matt Thornton. As memorable as it was, it just seems strange. Well, we're just about done with 2 seasons here. There's been 1 walk-off home run and 5 walk-off at-bats. Three and 1 to Chris Parmelee. And he draws a leadoff walk. And Parmelee has drawn his 8th walk against 6 strikeouts.
Steve Delabar basically just a fastball split finger and fell behind and ended up walking Parmelee, and Luke Hughes will pinch run for Parmelee.
Here's Valencia, who's got most of the walk-off hits for the Twins. Today 0 for 3. Foul back. Valencia has only come up to the plate 1 time with a man on base. That was his last time up in the 6th. And he left Kadire at first base. Very high and in. inside. 1-1. Two and one. Delabar got ahead of Cuddyer and ended up getting the ground ball double play he was looking for. But he walked Parmelee. Now Valencia has a hitter's count. A pitch right where he wanted it and fouled it straight back.
Delabar, 28 years old, signed by the Padres back in 2003. Was out of professional baseball, played a couple of years, pitched a couple of years in independent baseball, then signed by the Mariners.
It'll pop up, and Olivo comes back, but it's out of play. Valencia leading the team in plate appearances and at bats. And they give the Twins a big hit here in the ninth. Straight back.
Delabar with a fastball and then a split finger.
Plouffe waiting on deck. Valencia trying to end the game right here. Bouncer to third. Out at second. And Valencia reaches on a fielder's choice.
Nice play by Seager right there. That little short hop, not the easiest to catch, and then get something on the throw.
Here's Trevor Plouffe. Oh for 3, a strikeout, a fly ball, and a ground ball. Backhanded nicely by Olivo. One and 0 to the Twins shortstop. Runner goes. Olivo finally finds the pitch and out at second. Valencia got a very late jump. Makes you wonder whether it wasn't a hit and run. But the Twins now have the bases clear, and Rodriguez had an awkward catch and tag, and he may have hurt himself. A very short lead if you're going to try to steal a base.
Well, watch the shortstop right there. Rodriguez have to maybe landing on that right arm. We're going to see Eric Wedge coming out, taking a look at Rodriguez, looking at the right hand of Luis Rodriguez.
Got a cut. I wonder if he didn't get spiked, or whether he didn't spike himself. Danny Valencia got a fist bump from the manager, so that kind of leads me to believe the Plouffe missed a sign there. Valencia's lead at second base was only about 5 feet.
That's another mistake, that's made, that cannot be made, especially in a 2-2 ball game, bottom of the ninth inning. You know, you're sending the runner. You expect the hitter to know the signs and to put the ball in play.
So Valencia got hung out to dry, but the Mariners shortstop might have hurt himself to the point where he's got to come out of the game. I don't know whether Valencia spiked him. It was such an awkward play. He may have actually spiked himself. So Rodriguez has to come out of the game with a cut right hand. Given where we are in the calendar, it might be that his season is over with.
Let's take another look right here. See Rodriguez.
Ooh, yep.
He might have clipped the spikes of Danny Valencia. Take another look right here. Watch the right hand.
Ouch.
Yeah, right on the bottom, the base of Danny Valencia's shoe.
Well, of such things, 11-game losing streaks are made. You need to execute. You need to make the plays in the late innings of close ball games. And the count is 2-0.
I believe it's Liddy, is it not, at third base now? And
Seager's playing short. Right. Liddy is playing third. Yes.
Right. Alex Liddy now playing third base.
2-0 to Plouffe with the bases empty. 3-0 with Tassone on deck. Swinging away on 3-0. Three and one. There's the walk. Second walk of the inning. And Tassone, the designated hitter, will try to get a big designated hit. He has two already. In fact, he scored the two Twins runs after his leadoff single in the third and his one-out double in the fifth.
Yeah, singled in the third inning and then a double and scored in both the third and fifth innings. That situation here, you'd think, well, Eric Wedge bringing a left-hander right here, but he's already used his one left-hander.
Driven to the gap in right center field. Down for a hit. Plouffe around second, around third, coming home, and the losing streak is over. Tassone delivers a walk-off double, his third hit of the game. The sixth walk-off at bat in this ballpark. And Rene Tassone, as the designated hitter hitting seventh, has a big day.
He certainly does. Twins haven't seen enough of this right here.
Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Kevin Gordon, the Twins win again on getaway day.
They're going to schedule more of these. Big walk-off. We'll break it down. Tassone gets it done with 3 hits. Anthony Swarzak weathers the storm. The bottom of the